There are two pains everyone must face in life: the pain of discipline and the pain of regrets. Now, if you face the pain of discipline, you won't need to face the pain of regret. A great evening, guys. Thank you so very much for joining us again on another exciting Upgrade Live with Mr. Upgrade. Yes, this is the Upgrade Live with Mr. Upgrade, and we basically do this every Sundays from 7 p.m. all through to 8 p.m. I basically get to do four things. Yes, number one, we get to take your questions. So if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to send in the questions. We'll gladly take them. Number two, we get to share with you the Upgrade Mastery tip for the week. And for this week, the Upgrade Mastery tip is discipline, right? Yes, discipline. Number three, we get to connect, network, and bond because we understand that the world we live in today is a global village. It's important that we get to do networking, connecting, and bonding irrespective of where we are in the globe, right? And number four is that we get to have fun because we strongly believe that if learning is not fun, there is no learning at all because whatever you learn with full pleasure, you remember in full measure. So we get to have fun while we do the Upgrade Live with Mr. Upgrade. So I'm super excited. I'm super pumped. I'm super ready for this conversation. And I can't wait for us to get into the details of this conversation for today. Now, while we wait for you to send in your questions, we always begin the conversation with our basic 5 questions. Now, these 5 questions help us to lay the foundation, help us to set the tone for the conversation so that you get to understand what it is that we're going to be talking about generally, so you get a better level of clarity before the conversation even begins. So, question number 1. What is discipline? When you hear the word discipline, what comes to your mind? What is discipline? For some people who live in Nigeria, discipline can be synonymous to punishment. So when they hear discipline, their mind is punishment. Oh, I've done something wrong. So they want to discipline me. They want to punish me. Scratch that. That's not what we're talking about right now. Right? There's a level of that is discipline, but that's not the discipline we're talking about right now. So when you hear discipline, what comes to your mind? What does it bring to your mind? What is the connotation you have with it? What does it resonate for you when you hear discipline, right? I'm going to tell you what it is. And our definitions are always different from any definition you find anywhere else. So pay attention to what it is that we share with you. I see discipline. It is the choice. Discipline, it is the choice you make to do what is right, regardless of how you feel. I'll say that again. Discipline is the choice you make to do what is right, regardless of how you feel. So when you say someone has discipline, or when you say you have discipline, it means that you made a choice to do what is right, regardless of how you feel. Are you getting this? I've often told us here that freedom is not doing what you like. Freedom is doing what is right. So discipline is the choice that you've made to do what is right, regardless of how you feel. Because we live in a generation where people are always in their feelings. Oh, I don't feel like this. Oh, I'm feeling this way. So they are more controlled by their feelings. But discipline is feeling regardless, which means it is the choice you make to do what is right, regardless of how you feel. That is discipline, right? And you see this, guys. This is quite important. Question number 2. Who's responsible for discipline? Now we know what discipline is. Who then is responsible for discipline? Right? The answer is simple. You are responsible for discipline. The discipline you have or the discipline you lack is up to you. You are the one who is totally responsible for discipline. No one else is responsible for discipline but you. You are responsible for discipline you have or discipline you lack, it is your total responsibility. So you cannot blame anyone for your lack of discipline. Neither can you hold anyone accountable for your discipline. It's up to you. You are responsible for your having discipline or your lacking discipline. It's entirely on you. Are you getting this? It's entirely on you. Question number 3. Why discipline? Why discipline? I'll tell you 3 reasons why discipline. Number 1, growth. Number 2, separation / consecration. And number 3, elevation. These are 3 reasons why discipline. Number 1 is growth. Number 2 is separation / consecration. And then number 3 is elevation. And you know, you've heard the saying that elevation requires separation. So discipline helps you to separate yourself from others. So you are not like others because of your discipline. And because you're not like others, it's easy for you to be elevated from others. Are you getting it? So you are not like them, you are separated, you are going to be elevated above them. And you see, discipline helps for your growth. So as a person, you want to grow and be better, you need discipline. There is no level of intentional growth that is outside of discipline. No level of intentional growth is outside of discipline. Because growing old and growing up are not the same thing. Right? Let's get back to the conversation. 3 reasons why discipline. Number 1, growth. Number 2, separation. And number 3, elevation. Now, question number 4, what are the benefits of discipline? What do you stand to gain when you are disciplined? What are the benefits of discipline for you as a person? What are the benefits of discipline? Right? Now, there are 3 benefits of discipline. Number 1 is self-control. Number 2 is maturity. And then number 3 is core depth. These are 3 benefits of discipline. When you have discipline, you have self-control, right? You are able to hold yourself from within. There's enkratia in Greek. You are able to hold yourself from within. Self-control, right? Second is you have maturity as a result of discipline. You know, Paul said that when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I thought as a child, I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. So there's a level of maturity that comes with discipline, right? And then the third benefit of discipline is the core depth that you now have as a person. There are things that are ingrained deeply in your core as a result of discipline. So you become a better person for yourself as a result of discipline. Your core is strengthened as a result of discipline. Are you getting this? Is this making sense to you? So these are the 3 benefits of discipline. Number 1 is self-control. Number 2 is maturity. And number 3 is core depth. Now, question number 5. When is the best time for you to have discipline? When is the best time for you to have discipline? Like I often say, the last best time for anything was yesterday. The next best time to have discipline is now. Now is the next best time for you to have discipline. Now, not tomorrow, not later, but now. Now is the next best time for you to have discipline. And you see this, guys. Discipline makes you amiable and responsible. I'll say that again. Discipline, it makes you amiable and it makes you responsible. It makes you likable. It makes you responsible. That's discipline for you. Right? That's discipline for you. Now, let's break this down into what you would really get depth about, right? So let's break discipline itself. Let's break it down, right? Discipline, discipline, right? So we're going to break this down so that we can throw more light on it so you can have better understanding of it. Are you getting this? So we're going to break it down and then we're going to explain it so you can have a better understanding of it. Now, the D in discipline is decision. Every discipline begins with a decision, whether it's the discipline to improve your finances, the discipline to improve your mind, the discipline to improve your association, whatever level of discipline you choose starts with a decision. So I'm going to do X, Y, Z. I decide this discipline. So the D in discipline is decision. You cannot have any level of discipline without a decision. And that's why we said in our definition of discipline, we said it is the choice. And guess it, choice begins from decision. Is the choice you make to do, decision, to do what is right, irrespective or regardless of how you feel. So discipline is the choice you make to do what is right, regardless of how you feel. That's discipline. And this begins with a decision. Right? Showing up here for the Upgrade Live with Mr. Upgrade every Sundays is a decision. And that's a level of discipline. So whether there's Big Brother happening at the moment or there's the World Cup happening at the moment, you will still show up because you have discipline that stems from a decision. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? So you understand that discipline begins with a decision. So somebody who lacks discipline, you will know that they have not made that decision for discipline yet. Because discipline starts with a decision. The D in discipline is decision. Right? Now, the I in discipline is intentional. Remember, in our definition of discipline, we said it is the choice you make to do what is right, regardless of how you feel. That is intentional. In this generation where everything we do is based on our feelings. Oh, I'm feeling good today, so I'm going to go out and do great things. Oh, I'm not feeling too good today, so I'm going to stay back and not do anything. We are all about our feelings. We are feelings regulated. We feel great today, we do great. We don't feel great, we don't do anything. We are feelings regulated. In fact, there's even a song that starts, "Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to lay on my bed." You know, you don't feel like doing anything. It's feeling regulated. Come off it. Come off your feelings. Discipline is intentional. It's not feeling regulated. It's not feeling regulated. Because if it's up to feelings, there are so many things you will never do. If it's up to feelings, there's so many things you can never be. Are you getting this? By the way, happy new month. Welcome to the month of August. Wow. So whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it, the year is in August. Are you getting this? The year is in August. The year don't count your feelings. Are you getting this? So the I in discipline is intentional. If you're going to be disciplined, you have to be intentional about it. You read your Bible, you pray, you study, you hang out with the right people. It's intentionality. You get off social media at some point in the day. It's intentionality. That's discipline. Don't be doom scrolling. It's discipline. And that is intentional. It's intentional. Are you getting this? The I in discipline is intentional. So anyone who must be disciplined must be intentional. Right? The S in discipline is sacrifice. Whether I like it or not, discipline would demand sacrifice of you. To demand sacrifice of you. That's why in our opening quote, we said that there are two pains everyone must face in life. the pain of discipline, and the pain of regret. And we say that if you face the pain of discipline, you will not need to face the pain of regret. Right? The pain of discipline will come with sacrifice. There are things you have to sacrifice for the sake of discipline. You know, in Daniel 1:8, scripture says that Daniel proposed in his heart not to defile himself with the portion of the king's table. That was discipline. Imagine in this day and age, you are rejecting buffet. That's the sacrifice you have to make. Because for every level of discipline, there must be a level of sacrifice. So the S in discipline is sacrifice. And I've often said this: if you don't make sacrifice, you will soon be sacrificed. Are you getting this? And for you to be truly satisfied, you must make sacrifice. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Right? The C in discipline is character. You know the worth of a person by the content of their character. And discipline helps to forge character. Discipline helps to put you through the furnace that refines your character. Discipline. Right? The C in discipline is character. So, with the decision, intentionality, and the sacrifice that you've made, it rubs off on your character. It shows in your character. So the C in discipline is character. So we can see it that you have discipline, or we can also see it that you lack discipline. It will be seen in your character. Character is who you are. It's who you are. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? So the C in discipline is character. Because at the end of the day, your character is refined through discipline. There's no other way to put it. Your character is refined through discipline. Right? The other I in discipline is impact. There's the impact that discipline has on you as a person. There's the impact that discipline has on you as a person. Impact. So discipline impacts you. It impacts you. Are you getting this? Discipline impacts you as a person. There are things you no longer do as a result of discipline. And there are things you will now do as a result of discipline. So discipline impacts you first before it impacts others. So there's the impact of discipline on you. There's the impact of discipline on you. So the second I in discipline is impact. Right? The P in discipline is painful. Pain. See, there's no other way around this. Discipline is painful. When you are going through discipline, it's painful. I'm not talking about the discipline in which they beat you or punish you. No. Discipline itself that causes you to say no to things you should have normally said yes to, it's painful. Discipline that causes you to delay gratification when people want instant gratification is painful. Again, discipline that makes you separate yourself and isolate yourself so you can go through the process of training so you can be qualified for reigning is painful. So the P in discipline is painful. There's no discipline that is sweet. The seeds of discipline is bitter, but the fruit from discipline is sweet. At your initial stages, the discipline is painful. It's painful. But at the latter stages, the discipline becomes joyful. It becomes pleasurable. It becomes meaningful. But the P in discipline is painful. No one who is going through discipline that doesn't feel the pain. That's why I say there are two pains you must face: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Because discipline is painful, right? And then the L in discipline is learning. There are a lot of things that you will get to learn as a result of discipline. There are a lot of things that you get to learn as a result of discipline. So many learnings will take place as a result of discipline. Right? The L in discipline is learning. Is learning. So many things you learn as a result of the discipline you are going through. Right? Because your learning helps you become a better person. So discipline provides learning for you. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Great. Now, this third I in discipline is integrity. One of the things that discipline eventually bestows on you is integrity. As a result of the discipline, you become a person of integrity. Your yes is yes. Your no is no. Your wait is wait. You become a person of integrity as a result of your discipline. Are you getting this? The third I in discipline is integrity. So the one who has discipline has integrity. Their words are their bond. Because they have integrity. Because they have discipline. They say they will show up, they will actually show up. In fact, the only reason they may not show up is if they are dead. But as long as they are alive, if they tell you they will show up, they will show up. Why? Because that discipline gives them integrity. And the world we live in today, people don't care less for integrity anymore. They promise and they fail. Because they don't have discipline, because they don't have integrity. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Now, the N in discipline is necessary. Necessary. Because discipline is necessary. Whoever you're going to become, it's necessary that you have discipline. Otherwise, your lack of discipline will push you down the ladder. So it's necessary that you have discipline for your own good. It's necessary you have discipline. Because your lack of discipline would reduce you from where discipline has elevated you to. Are you getting this? So it's important that you have discipline. That's why they say that competence can get you in the room. It's character that keeps you in the room. And character is a function of discipline. So that's why it's necessary that you have discipline. So the N in discipline is necessary. Anyone who wants to be great and sustain their greatness, is necessary that they have discipline. And the E in discipline is effort. To become a person of discipline, there must be effort that is invested. There must be effort. There's effort on your part to have discipline. There's effort on your part to stay disciplined. The effort must be invested. Remember, we said discipline is a choice you make to do what is right, regardless of how you feel. That is effort manifested. It's effort. You put in the work, you do what must be done. That is effort. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? That is effort. So you must understand this. See this, guys. Discipline. Discipline. Decision, intentional, sacrifice, character, impact, painful, learning, integrity, necessary, effort. This, my friend, this is discipline. Now, you may want to ask yourself, do I really have discipline? With what has been said, with what has been mentioned, do I really have discipline? Even if you don't have discipline, it's a good place to now pick up discipline. That's why I'm having this conversation. So that now that you know, okay, yes, I agree, I lack discipline. This is what I must do to have discipline. This is what I must do. I'm not going to deceive myself. This is what I must do to have discipline. I know I lack it, but this is what I must do to now have it. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Remember, I told us discipline will make you amiable and responsible. To make you likable, to make you lovable. It's discipline. It's discipline. So don't try to make people like you. Just have discipline and people will naturally like you. Just have discipline. Don't try to be in the good books of people. Just have discipline and you'll be in the good books of people. Because discipline makes you amiable and it makes you responsible. Now, there are 3 things about discipline that I want you to know, right? If you get this, it changes a lot for you, discipline-wise. 3 things about discipline. Number 1 is no. Number 2 is yes. And number 3 is wait. These are 3 things about discipline that many people don't talk about. See, when it comes to discipline, one of the first things you must know and learn is how to say no. Because trust me, there are more things in life that you should say no to than you should say yes to. More things. But it's discipline that helps you know what to say no to. So 3 things about discipline. Number 1 is no. Number 2 is yes. Discipline helps you to know what to say yes to. Right? So because you already know what to say no to, it's easy to now know what to say yes to. Just the same way they say you must have your don't do list as well as your to do list. Because a lot of times people just focus on the to do list. There must also be a don't do list, that no matter what happened, I don't do this. So that's why discipline helps you to know what to say no to. And then now helps you to now know what to say yes to as a result of discipline. And then the 3rd thing is wait. In a world where we are driven by instant gratification, discipline says wait, delay gratification. Delay the gratification. You cannot get a baby in a month by getting 9 women pregnant by Warren Buffett. Delay the gratification. So 3 things about discipline. No, yes, wait. It's that simple. No, yes, and wait. I see this, guys. There are 2 traits of discipline. So you want to know if someone is disciplined, look out for these 2 traits. There are 2 traits of discipline. Number 1 is sacrifice. Number 2 is patience. These are 2 traits of discipline: sacrifice, patience. Now, the one who has discipline knows what they must sacrifice. They know the sacrifices that they must partake in. The one who has discipline knows the role of time and patience. You know, Ecclesiastes 9:11. You know, I always like to quote Ecclesiastes 9:10, but then if you scroll to verse 11, something even more interesting is there. Ecclesiastes 9:10 tells you, whatever your hands find to do, do well. Then 11 now says, the race is not to the swift, the battle is not for the strong. Men of skill are not necessarily wealthy. It says, but time and chance happens to them all. Some translation says, being at the right place at the right time. Discipline helps you understand patience. 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 So 2 traits of discipline, it is sacrifice and patience. So when you see these 2 traits, you know that that's a person of discipline. They're willing to make the sacrifice. They're willing to have the patience. Because whatever will last will not happen fast. Are you getting this? Whatever would last will not happen fast. Right? Now, the one goal of discipline in all of this is self-regulation, where you are able to regulate yourself. Like Paul says, he says, I put my body under subjection, lest I have preached to others, I now become a castaway. Self-regulation. Because what shows that people don't have discipline is how they are letting self determine them. Their feelings is the order of the day. Oh, I feel like this. Oh, I don't feel like this. It's all about their feelings and emotions. But the goal of discipline is self-regulation. And no matter how I feel, discipline will always take the day. Not my feelings, not my emotions, but my discipline will carry the day. So there's self-regulation. That's the one goal of discipline, self-regulation. Are you getting this? See, discipline checks your real appetite. You know, people have appetite for lots of things. It's discipline that checks your real appetite. Yeah. And I'm not just talking about your appetite for food, because when people hear appetite, they start to think of food. You know, there's a lot of things that people think of when they hear certain things. Like when you hear discipline, people think of punishment, right? When you hear appetite, people think of food. No, there's more to appetite than food. Appetite is your craving, is your desire. That's appetite. But discipline helps to check your appetite. It puts your appetite in check. You've heard people say, oh, I'm craving XYZ, or I'm craving this, I'm craving that. It's discipline that puts those cravings that are from your appetite in check. Because trust me, discipline helps to check yourself so you don't wreck yourself. Did you get that? Discipline helps to check yourself so you don't wreck yourself. Because your cravings and your appetite can wreck you. They can wreck you. So discipline helps to check yourself so you don't wreck yourself. And let me tell you 4 basic areas where discipline helps to check your appetite. 4 basic areas. And I'm going to use some biblical examples to expound on it. 4 basic areas where discipline helps to check your appetite. The first one is food. Have you seen how people lose themselves when they see free food, especially in a buffet setting? See, one of the first ways to know somebody is a person who lacks discipline in the buffet setting. Look at how their plate is heaped. Look at what they pack on their plates. You just know that there's lack of discipline. You just know. Look at what they heap on their plates. You just know that this is a lack of discipline. You just know. There's nothing you want to tell me. You just know. Put rice, they put salad, they put chicken, they put turkey, they put fish, they put everything that's on the buffet table on their plate. So it's free food. No wonder my friend Obon King once says that free food stops people from thinking. Free food. Because they don't have discipline. They can't check their appetite for food. Have you not seen people who go for weddings or big events and they are dragging for food? They are hiding food. They are keeping food that they want to take home. Appetite. The same food they will eat in their own homes. That's what they are dragging and losing their self-respect for outside. Discipline helps to check the appetite for food. And you see, Daniel displayed this in Daniel 1:8 when he proposed in his heart not to defile himself with the portion from the king's table. He checked his appetite. And guess what? Daniel ate vegetable and water, and he was 10 times better, body-wise and mental-wise, than all the people who were eating from the king's table. Discipline checks your appetite. The second thing that discipline checks your appetite for money. In 2 Kings chapter 5, when Gehazi went to meet Naaman and collect some robes, some gold bars, and went to hide in his tent, Elisha told him and said, when you went, my spirit was with you. He said, is there not a time for this? Remember I told you earlier, discipline helps you to delay gratification. So there would have been a time for them to collect gifts. Besides, Elisha had collected a gift from the Shunammite woman. The woman who had prepared a place for him to always stay and all of that, right? So there's a time for it. But his lack of discipline from Gehazi did not make him understand timing. Because he was saying, oh, if I miss this, now look at all the gifts that Naaman had brought. I'm going to miss out of this. And what did he end up with? He ended up with Naaman's leprosy. You see that in 2 Kings chapter 5. He ended up with Naaman's leprosy. The appetite for money. Discipline helps you to check your appetite for money. It checks your appetite for money. 1 Timothy 6:10 says, godliness with contentment is great gain. Godliness with contentment is great gain. It says, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we'll take nothing out of it. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Discipline helps to check your appetite for sex. You see that in 2 Samuel chapter 11. At the time when kings went to war, David didn't go. He was walking on his rooftop and he saw Bathsheba taking a bath and he sent for her. And you know the rest of the story. That singular act made David commit murder because he killed Uriah. That singular act of killing Uriah brought calamity into David's house. That singular act put Uriah's name in the genealogy of Christ. Appetite for sex. Discipline helps to check your appetite for sex. So if you watch the movie The Polygamist, it's a series on Netflix, you'll see that the main character, second main character, Jonas, right? Jonas, he had the lack of discipline for sex. Slept with his wife, slept with his staff, slept with his daughter's friend, slept with the woman who gave him HIV. Like somebody jokingly said that the only person that Johannes did not sleep with was the audience that was watching The Polygamist. That's the only person that Johannes did not sleep with. The people watching the movie. Every other person he slept with. His appetite for sex was uncontrollable because he didn't have discipline. So he slept with the person who even infected him with HIV. Appetite for sex. I see that with David in 2 Samuel 11. David's appetite for sex. You know, when Prophet Nathan came to speak to him in 2 Samuel 12, Prophet Nathan told him that you had all the women in Israel, but instead you choose to take Bathsheba and kill Uriah. The fourth appetite that discipline helps you check is your appetite for power. Your appetite for power. I see that in Acts chapter 13 about the fellow called Bar Jesus, who wanted to buy the gift of the Spirit with money. And Paul told him, your money perish with you, and you'll be blind for a season. The appetite for power is discipline that will help you check it. Discipline. So these are 4 key areas where discipline will help you check the appetites that you have. Your appetite for food, your appetite for money, your appetite for sex, your appetite for power. And you see, there's the cost of discipline that you must be aware of. Discipline is not cheap. Discipline is not free. Discipline has a cost. I'll say that again. Discipline is not cheap. Discipline is not free. Discipline has a cost. So you must know the cost of discipline. Now, what's the cost of discipline that you need to know? Sacrifice, delayed gratification, and losses. These are the costs of discipline. If you must be disciplined, there must be sacrifices to be made. If you must be disciplined, there must be delayed gratification. If you must be disciplined, there must be losses that you would have. There must be losses. It's part of the process of discipline. There must be losses. You know, Paul says that I count everything I have achieved as dung for the excellency of knowing Christ. There must be losses. There must be losses. Right? And you see, discipline has the pain-pleasure paradox. Discipline has the pain-pleasure paradox. Now, the pain-pleasure paradox is that discipline will bring you pain, and discipline will also bring you pleasure. But the pain comes before the pleasure. Are you getting this? The pain always comes before the pleasure. Discipline will bring you pain, and then discipline will also bring you pleasure. It's the pain-pleasure paradox. And guess what? What we do as humans is to see how much we can avoid pain and see how much we can go towards pleasure. But discipline helps to bring the pain-pleasure paradox. So the more pain you go through discipline, the more pleasure you eventually have as a result of the discipline. That's why the pain-pleasure paradox. The more pain you go through because of discipline, the more pleasure you enjoy as a result of the discipline. It's the pain-pleasure paradox. And you see, you may avoid discipline, but you can't avoid the pain of regrets from the lack of discipline. You say, oh, I'm going to avoid discipline. No doubt, it's good. You can. You can avoid discipline, but you cannot avoid the pain of regret from your lack of discipline. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid that. And let me tell you this. Fun fact. There are 2 biggest enemies of discipline. They are emotions and feelings. These are the 2 biggest enemies of discipline. Your emotions and your feelings. So you see people say, oh, I don't feel like doing this today. I don't feel like going out today. I don't feel like doing anything. But your emotions and your feelings are the 2 biggest enemies of discipline. 2 biggest enemies of discipline. And you see, Discipline helps you to rise above your feelings and your emotions. Now, I say this all the time, that feelings are fickle. They are here today and they are gone tomorrow. You can't depend on feelings. You can't depend on feelings. Oh, I feel like doing this. Oh, I feel like... No, you can't depend on feelings. They are fickle. They are here today and gone tomorrow. But you see these guys, what you must understand is that your discipline help you to rise above your feelings and your emotions. I've seen people talk anyhow because of how they are feeling and because of their emotions. But when you're a person of discipline, no matter how you feel, I'm not trying to invalidate your emotions or your feelings, no matter how you feel, there are certain things you would never say because you have discipline. Now, even if you come back and say you are sorry, you cannot unsay what you have said. You can't retract it. Once the words are gone out of your mouth, you can't take it back. And you see, your feelings and your emotions, they are best displayed through excuses, procrastination, and laziness. These same feelings and emotions, they are best displayed through excuses, through procrastination, through laziness. If I want to see your feelings and your emotions, I'll see how you make excuses. I'll see how you procrastinate. I'll see how you are lazy. That shows to me that feelings and emotions carry the day with you and not discipline. See, discipline demands action, execution, and faithfulness. That's what discipline demands. And you see, with action, execution, and faithfulness, you have risen above your feelings and emotions. And that's what discipline demands. It demands action. It demands execution. It demands faithfulness. Let me tell you this, and I'll tell you for free. Those who lack discipline will always be at the mercy of those who have discipline. Did you get that? Those who lack discipline will always be at the mercy of those who have discipline. See these guys. Discipline is not because of you. Discipline is because of me. So you're not doing discipline for someone else. You're doing it because of yourself. So it's not because of you that I'm having discipline. It's because of me that I'm having discipline. When you see it from that perspective, you will do all it takes, humanly possible, for you to be a person of discipline. Because discipline is not because of you. It's because of me. It's who I am. Not who I want you to think of me, is who I am. Take note. When Daniel was proposing his heart not to defile himself with a portion of the king's meat in Daniel chapter 1, verse 8, Daniel was a slave in Babylon. He was a slave in Babylon. And thank God the movie is coming out about Daniel this year. So I encourage you to watch it when it's out. The movie on Daniel, the character of Daniel in the Bible. A lovely character. In fact, I've done a series on Daniel before. A lovely character. So you see, discipline is not because of you. Discipline is because of me. When you know this, it helps you. So you can look at it and say, I'm not having discipline for you. I'm having discipline for me. I'm having discipline for me. Because that discipline will bestow on you honor, respect, and value. Discipline will bestow on you honor, respect, and value. See, the presence or the lack of discipline will always be visible to the blind, audible to the deaf, felt by the numb. The presence of discipline or the lack of discipline will always be visible to the blind, audible to the deaf, felt by the numb. Let me tell you this, guys. The replacement for discipline is discipline. You're surprised, right? Yeah. The replacement for discipline is discipline. You know, people think, oh, you can replace discipline with something else. No, the replacement for discipline is discipline. And you see, whatever you lack in discipline is made up for with discipline. So there's no excuse. Whatever you lack in discipline, you make up for it with discipline. Like Paul says, thou, O man, are inexcusable. With discipline, there's no excuse. There's no hiding place. And let me tell you this, and I would like you to really pay attention to this, right? Avoidance is not discipline. Avoidance is not discipline. Because you may avoid something does not mean you have discipline for that thing. Avoidance is not discipline. So you're avoiding something is not discipline towards that thing. It's just avoidance. So avoidance is not discipline. Because you may avoid something does not mean that you have discipline for what you are avoiding. So avoidance is not discipline. The same way, lack is not discipline. That's why wealth reveals what poverty was hiding. So you see people, when they are poor, you think they have discipline. No, because they don't have the money to sponsor sin. They don't have the money to sponsor the recklessness that they want to be reckless. You saw what happened to the prodigal son. He took his inheritance, went to a far country, made a righteous living of it because he never had discipline. Never had discipline. He wasted it. See, lack is not discipline. Because the reason why some people are humble is because they are in lack. Let them taste wealth. Let them have wealth. You will see pride. So all that pride has always been there. Lack just hid it. That's why I say wealth reveals what poverty is hiding. And you see, lack is not discipline. The same way avoidance is not discipline. But you see, discipline is present without contamination. That's what you see in Daniel 1:8. Daniel was present in Babylon, but Daniel was not contaminated by Babylon. So discipline is present without contamination, right? Discipline is having without being controlled by it. So you have wealth, but you're not controlled by wealth. And I've also said this, that if what you have, you can't give away, you don't have it, it has you. Whatever it is that you have that you cannot give away, you don't have it, it has you. So discipline is having, but not being controlled by it. I have it, but it doesn't control me. So the same way, avoidance is not discipline. Lack is not discipline. Present is discipline. I'm present, but I'm not contaminated. Having, but I'm not controlled by it. That is discipline. Now, how do you have this discipline? Now you'll be wondering, okay, with all of this that has been said, how do you have discipline? Two simple ways to have discipline. Number one, a choice, like Daniel did in Daniel 1:8. Make a choice. Number two, you trust God's help. You know, when Ecclesiastes 9:11 tells us that the race is not to the swift, the battle is not to the strong, men of skill are not necessarily wealthy. It says, but time and chance happens to them all. Now, it also highlights another scripture in Romans 9:16, where it says, it's not of him that wills, it's not of him that willeth, of him that runneth, is of God that shows mercy. Another way to have discipline is to trust God's help, which is God's mercy. There are two ways to have discipline. Number one, a choice. Number two, to trust God's help. To trust God's help. Because sometimes in your own willpower, you make a lot of mistakes when you're trying to be disciplined. In your own willpower, you can't, you fail. That's why we say that if you fail on your discipline, if you fail on your discipline journey, pick yourself up, ask for mercy, and continue. Scripture says a just man falls 7 times, yet 7 times will he rise. Because by self willpower, sometimes you fail in that journey of discipline. You fail. You give in. You give in, but ask for God's help. You know, when Samson was telling the secret of his strength to Delilah, he first told her things that were not it for the first 2 times. Samson at that point thought he had discipline. But with the pressure that she mounted on him, pressure, we are mounting pressure. With the pressure she mounted on him, he eventually gave in and told her the secret of his strength, and she shaved his hair and Samson got captured. But you see, with the mercy of God, Samson's hair began to grow again. That's why I say if you fall in your journey of discipline, pick yourself up, ask for mercy, and continue. Are you getting this? Well, let me tell you this as we begin to wrap this up, guys. Discipline will first stress you before discipline would save you. Yeah. Remember the pain pleasure paradox of discipline? Yeah. Discipline will first stress you before it will save you. And finally, guys, to have a regret-free life is to live a life of discipline. To have a regret-free life is to live a life of discipline. Guys, this is it. This is our conversation for the now. I believe that this would help you in your journey so that you can become a person of discipline. Trust me, you need to have discipline for yourself. You need it. It's non-negotiable. You need it. So, this is it, guys. This is it. Hope you had a great time. Hope you had an amazing experience with this conversation today. And we can't wait for you to go practice this, because we often say that the proof of any learning is practice, and the proof of practice is result. And we love to hear the results you're going to practice from this conversation on discipline. And once again, happy new month. Welcome to the month of August, and things will do augur well for you in this season. Right? Be open to pleasant surprises this season. It will happen. Believe it will happen. Okay, guys. Remember, we always tell you that 3 things will happen for you in this new week. Yes. Number 1, increased voice of God. Number 2, open heavens over your life. And number 3, more angelic activities in all that you do. Remember this, guys. There's always more on the upgrade side of life. And that's why we encourage you that you leave good behind so that you can upgrade. And what better way for you to upgrade than to become a person of discipline? So, guys, I could always say, do well to like, to share, to subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't get to miss out on any of our conversation. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.